Hey guys, I'm Chuck Quinton, founder of RotarySwing.com. I want to talk about a really important concept today, and that is how to produce speed in the swing. There's two basic concepts or schools of thought, if you will, in the instruction world, and that is, one is rotating your body as fast as you can to produce clubhead speed, and the other is to release your wrists to produce clubhead speed. Now, I would hope at this stage in the game that people would understand that you're going to be able to do this much faster than you can ever take your biggest bone structures in your body, all your internal organs, and rotate them as fast as you can. It should be a no-brainer, but people still think that it seems to make more sense to rotate your body and put all the stress on your spine and your hip socket and so on. So unfortunately, there's a huge misinformation out there that people think that that's how you should swing the club very quickly. But understand this. By taking your forearms and just doing what I showed you earlier, I'm going to take them here, and you can do this for yourself while you're standing there watching this video. Take your arms and just rotate them like this. Now, put a golf club in your hands and make that same motion. You're moving the club 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 feet, and then 6 feet on the other side. It's 12 feet in the span that your forearms only have to do this. Now, let's take our body and move that club the same 12 feet. Look how much I have to move. And I want you to feel this, because you're going to feel strain in your low back, in your lumbar, in your hip, your knee, your ankle, depending on how you're set up. And so as you're doing this, you're having to rotate your body as hard as you can in order to move the club faster. Now here's another little problem with that. When you rotate, what kind of force are you creating? Go back to high school physics for just a second. I won't bore you too much with this. But when you start rotating, you're creating centripetal force. The result of that will always be centrifugal force. They go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. So when you start spinning your body really fast, especially if you do it as early as you can from the top of your swing, where is that centrifugal force going to act upon? Well, shouldn't take a rocket genius to figure this stuff out, but as I rotate my shoulders, the furthest thing away from the center is that club head. And as I start rotating and spinning my chest, the club head wants to get thrown out away from me due to the centrifugal force. I can't overcome this without a lot of work and a lot of manipulation, and there's no need to. You're creating too much speed, rotational speed, too early in the swing. It causes you to lose lag. So if you're the type of person that's been struggling to maintain lag and didn't understand why no matter what you try and do, you cannot keep lag till you need it down the hitting area, I want you to take a look at this bonus video that's going to explain this concept in depth. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We put out tons of new content all the time. Take a look at this bonus video, and at the end I'm going to give you a link. You can click it in the description, or you'll see it up on the screen, and it's going to take you to a place where you can watch the rest of the video completely for free. And if you sign up for free today, I'm going to give you 50 more bonus videos completely free, just like the one you're about to watch. One of my favorite parts of the golf swing is the release, the time where we're releasing all this pent-up energy and letting the club head accelerate as fast as humanly possible. And a lot of golfers don't ever get to feel what a proper release feels like, or even understand what it is. And that's because there's a ton of information out there that talks about turning the body through impact as long as humanly possible and as fast as humanly possible, versus just letting the club head release by letting your forearms turn over. Now, why would you want to do one over the other? Let's talk about the first one. This is what I call the body release, taking the chest and turning it through the hitting area as fast as humanly possible to move the club. Well, first of all, that's putting a ton of undue stress on your spine. That shear force that you're rotating your spine as fast as you can through the hitting area when there's tons of tremendous force going through there, you're setting yourself up for injury. The last thing that your spine wants in life is compressive force and shear force, rotating as quickly as you possibly can. But let's just take the injury prevention out of it. Of course, that's a huge part of RST. We don't want golfers to get injured, and so many of these golf swing related injuries, they're all preventable. So we think that's a big deal, but let's just ignore that for a second. Let's just talk about the speed that's going to be produced in the swing and where it's going to come from. As you start rotating your body really fast, you create centripetal force. Now, unless you've figured out a way to outsmart Newton, the result of that is going to be centrifugal force. Now, what is that centrifugal force going to be acted upon, and what is it going to do? Well,
pretty simple. If I go to the top and I've got these angles in here and I start rotating as fast as I can with my shoulders, what's going to happen to the club is it's going to get thrown out away from me. The centrifugal force is going to act on my wrist joint and release the club, and so I'm going to start casting. The last thing on earth you want to do is start releasing this wrist angle early in the swing, because that's about 2/3 of your club speed. You want to release that very late and maintain that lag, and you can't do that when you start spinning your shoulders as fast as you can. Physics are going to always win. You're not going to outsmart Newton. So, but again, let's just take that one out of the equation and look at the final last little release component. Let's just assume that for some reason you did figure out a way to keep your wrists really, really soft and maintain your lag longer, and you overcame the centrifugal force in your swing. Now you're going to release it at the bottom. Well, it's going to be pretty hard to do when you're spinning your shoulders through, because in order for something to release, you've got to transfer energy up the chain and slow down other parts. So as I'm spinning my shoulders through, the club head is never going to get a chance to release, and so I'm going to be leaving speed on the table. In order for everything to get maximum speed, your body has to decelerate. Just like throwing a ball. Think about this for a second. If you were going to throw a ball, what's the first thing you do? You take a step, you rotate your hips, and then they're done. You don't keep turning your hips to the first baseline. You turn to get your belt buckle facing the catcher, and then your chest is there. It's done turning as well, and then your arm releases. But if you kept turning, you'd throw it into the first base dugout. You've got to let things decelerate, because that's just the most efficient way that we transfer energy up the chain from our legs, of our torso, and then into the club and arms. Now, in the golf swing, it's no different. If I keep rotating through, this club head will release at some point, but it's going to happen after the ball's long gone. That's not going to do you any good. The ball doesn't care at that point. You need to release it at the ball. So that's really a critical piece of the swing. But the last thing is, just how fast do you think you can rotate your rib cage? Well, when you're really young and fit and strong, maybe you can rotate pretty quickly and make up for it. But as you get older, what do you think is going to happen? Well, we're not going to be able to rotate as fast as we can. One, you're putting a lot of wear and tear on your spine, so your body's not going to like it. You're going to start feeling like it doesn't feel very good if you haven't injured yourself already. And then as you just get older, you're not going to be able to spin your shoulders that fast. You're trying to take all of your guts, all of your internal organs, and all of these muscles and move this giant structure, this big mass, as fast as you can. And all I'm going to do is this. Now, who do you think is going to win?